Okay, I'm going to show you how to tie on a loop. I'm going to use this big one here just so that you can see what's going on. First, you just fold it in half, pull it through. Now I'm going to say this is the top knot, so I'm going to put this on this way. Now you notice this little tag end is on this top of it, goes down, it comes around this way. Now to tie the other half, you're going to come down around the outside, go back through the middle, around, and then go right back up. And now, as you see, got this tag end is on the downside, this one's on the upside, this loops around here, and this loops around here. What happens is you pull, that pulls straight. If you have them tied on wrong, what it'll do is it will twist, because you're pulling both of these this way. This kind of counteracts the tension on them. So now that we've showed you how to do that with a big rope that you can actually see, I'm going to go through the process I use to actually tie on a loop. Now, I'm lucky I have one of these. I got one I had in my store, and I'm going to cut them to 4.5 inches. That's normally where I cut all mine. It works out pretty good for most releases. You don't want to have it too long, so I have a mark on here. You can see I've kind of bunched in there. I'm going to cut it right at that 4.5 inch mark, and then kind of flatten this out a little bit. And now I'm going to grab lighter and burn the end of it. That puts a little bead on there, and then kind of flatten it out on there. Now you see me in some of the other videos, maybe just go ahead and put it out with my fingers, but you don't want to do it with these. Now the next step you want to do before you do anything, take some string wax, and there's several different kinds here. Just any of your string wax, make sure you wax this up. Okay, now that you have it waxed, the knots will get tighter. And then if you want, I like to go ahead and put a little string wax on the string. Scorpion makes a really nice one you put on your fingers and just kind of rub it in, gives a good lubrication right to start with. Now, like I showed, I'm going to fold this in half, pull this through, and pull this knot tight. You can see why I did the bigger one. It's a little harder to see. So I come around, come back on the inside, back around. You have to get these knots fairly close together to get that to go through. Now this looks like it might be kind of small, but it's not really that small when you look at what's going to happen once we start tightening it up. So we'll get this out of here. Okay, now I have a little arrow pencil I made here. It gives a little bit there. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten these knots up a little bit around there. Now, I like to use one of the Allen wrenches to pull on that knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this through here and now start pulling up on this a little bit. And as you pull, it's going to tighten those knots around your nock a little bit. And then you want to go through periodically and tighten these up. And you want these to be right up against your nock. Now this one's has to be an old style with an outsert, so it's going to be a little bit smaller. Now this isn't to go through and tell you where to put the knot. This is just how to tie it. Now you're going to take on here, put your Allen wrench or something in there, grab here, and you're going to pull. Now see how much longer that loop is from where it started out. And all you need is enough so that your nock is on there and it has enough room to get your release on after it. Okay, this is what more of them are going to look like on here. So now you can always do, if you have an extra one, take the arrow off so you don't have to deal with the arrow. But as you're going through, you can see as I'm pulling this, see how much bigger that is. You have plenty of room to put a caliper release in there or any kind of release in there, they'll fasten in there just fine. So that's how you do it. Once you get done, take your pliers here and squeeze those knots together again. That'll lock them in place. And pretty much the only way to get these off is you cut them off, because they don't move. One of the things you can do is you can roll them around, which will actually turn them, depending on which way this is twisted, you can adjust it. So like say, as I draw back, my peep rolls a half a turn. I can do this so when I hook up, I've got that half a roll in there. If it doesn't, then you can just put them in here. Now that's how you tie in the loop correctly.